In 1906, there was a study released that compared the descendants of the 18th century evangelist Jonathan Edwards with another man who lived at the same time named Max Jukes. And the two men were total opposites. Jonathan Edwards and his wife were very strong Christians. He was a preacher, and they raised their children in a very strong Christian environment. Listen to the descendants now. In 1906, they looked back at the family history of Jonathan Edwards and his wife and their descendants. And in 1906, here were the list of their descendants: 14 college presidents, more than 100 college professors, more than 100 lawyers, 30 judges and 60 physicians, more than 100 clergymen, missionaries and theological professors, 60 authors, 3 senators, and a vice president of the United States. Came from one couple who raised godly children. They generationally transferred their behavior to their children, and the result was blessing, the blessing of God to those generations. Max Jukes did not raise his family. He would disappear for days at a time and go get drunk and then come back home. And in 1906, it was estimated that Max Jukes and his family had cost the state of New York $12 million. That would be over $100 million in today's money. And since the 18th century till 1906, here are the known descendants of Max Jukes: 310 descendants in poverty, 150 criminals, 100 drunks, 7 murderers, and half of his female descendants were prostitutes. That's how profound this is. This is how profound parents affect their children and their grandchildren, and so on and so forth. We are generationally connected more than we think we are, one way or the other. And I'm saying this in 2 senses. In the first sense, I'm saying when you look back into your past, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, their lives affected your life very directly, whether you realize that or not. And then when you look forward into your future and your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, you will have a profound effect upon them. My life right now has a profound effect on my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, right on down the line. And we just need to realize this and understand that we can make that positive or negative. We have the right to choose there. Righteousness or sin, health or unhealth, blessing or cursing, wealth or poverty, education or ignorance, pleasure or pain. All of us have this generational connection, and we decide our legacy. And we have the power to change a bad legacy. Listen, you may have a Max Jukes bloodline. You can turn that into a Jonathan Edwards bloodline. When they're lying on their bed at night, when they're rising up in the morning, when you're sitting in your house, when you're on your way somewhere, diligently take those times, those contemplative times, and diligently teach your children. Proverbs 13:22, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. A good man says this: I want my grandchildren, not just my children, I want my grandchildren to receive a good inheritance off of my life. You do it on purpose. Bad things happen by accident, but good things only happen on purpose. And as we look back into our past and say, I'm going to break iniquities and vows over my life, we look forward into our future and say, and I want my children and grandchildren to receive a blessing from my life. I am making my mind up right now that my life will have a good impact upon future generations. I'm not a Max Jukes. I'm a Jonathan Edwards.